Never try skating. Fuck niggas hating.
I think that modern dating, these modern times, dating right now is strictly a sport for the mentally ill. And before anyone gets upset or feels judged or think I'm being judgmental, I am not talking about the mental illnesses that are outside of our control. You know, I have a son who was born with Down syndrome, and this is a mental condition that was out. We knew it was going to be, he was going to have that before he was born. And that's still my little man. So I have compassion for people who are dealing with things that are outside of their control. I don't have compassion for people who justify poor behavior or who try to make it seem cool, who try to spoil the minds of other people and all of that good stuff. I don't entertain it. There's a lot of keyboard warriors who would jump in my comments and disagree with what I said. That doesn't change anything. If you want to change a person like me, you'd have to go back in time and change the things that I went through, I've seen, who I was raised by, etc. And I don't intend to try to change any of these people either, including the keyboard warriors. But my point is that modern dating is strictly a sport for the mentally ill. And what I mean by mentally ill, I mean the unhealed, the toxic, the dysfunctional, the pathological liars, the selfish people, the people who are users and things like that, and people who justify it. And they might even be self-aware, and they kind of like are braggadocious. They are morally disconnected. And to me, that is a mentally ill person right there. And unfortunately, I know from experience that trying to date in these modern times, you run into that after back to back to back. I mean, come on now. I'm a God-fearing man who treats people how I want to be treated. I work hard. I'm talented. I'm somewhat handsome. I ain't ugly. You know what I mean? But I'm still single. And the reason why I say I'm single is probably because my type isn't my, I'm not my type's type. You know, so I'm attracted to the wrong type of person. I'm looking at aesthetics just like anyone else. Come on now. Can we keep it a buck? Okay, so I'm gonna break down why I think that modern dating is strictly a sport for the mentally ill. And normally I make a video that is bashing, I guess we can call it bashing. I don't care what this look like, women. You know, but I'm telling the truth. I don't never try to put them down in a sense to where I'm lying on them. All of my videos are based off of my personal experiences, but without me killing any more of your time, let me explain. Let me get to the point here. Basically, men and women who participate in modern dating and who participate in the activities involved in modern dating would be considered, from my standpoint, a mentally ill person. Well, what do you mean, Jerome? Yeah. Well, let me break it down to you, okay? And I'm going to show you how these two male and female counterparts in modern dating, how they go together. They match. They're doing the same thing. One's a man, one's a woman, but they're the same spirit. They represent the same entity. Okay. Number one, they have, I would say that modern women and modern men, we can call them modern men or we can call them toxic men. I don't know. But they have the same ingredients, okay, that makes up who they are, their character traits, okay? And number one is the entitlement mindset. Yes, I'm going to explain how these men, these modern men, and you see a lot of them on the internet, and you might even have some friends that are, I know I do, the entitled man. Okay, he has the entitled mindset. Let me explain. Number one is that he hates to be challenged. They are very open about this. They say they don't feel like they should be challenged. Okay. They want you to take their word for it, even if it's a lie. Do not challenge me. This is toxic masculinity to a degree, because they don't give any, they expect you just to take their word. I said I'm him. I said I'm that man. I said I'm a high value man. I said I won't cheat on you. I said I love you. Take my word for it. Don't challenge me. I said I like you. Don't make me work hard. Don't make me fight for your respect. Don't make me fight for your love. Don't make me fight to get you. Give it up easy. Okay, that takes me to the second point on point one, is that they don't want or believe that they should work hard to I was gonna say achieve things, but if we're talking about intimacy with a woman, that being something that you accomplish or you achieve, okay, they don't feel like they need to put in the work to get anything. This is entitlement, okay, and in addition to that, they believe that they deserve the same treatment as someone who does the work, and without them having to do the work. Okay, they feel equal to someone who is busting their butt. They feel equal to somebody who is waking up and going to sleep every single day on the grind, getting to it. They feel like whatever it is you have, as hard as you work, that they deserve exactly what you have just because they're them. Now, the entitlement mindset is obviously something that we talk about. I know on my channel I talk about it a lot, with modern women having entitled mindset, and they expect a man to pay all their bills and take her shopping and take her on trips and get her nails done and take her out to eat, and then she gets to pick the places that she wants to go, and then she gets to have a bratty attitude mentality, and then she gets to ghost him and give him the silent treatment, and then she gets to disrespect him, and then she gets to entertain other men, and then she still gets to have you and your loyalty while she's doing all of these things. Okay, she gets to have you committed to her while she does all of these things. Hold on one second. Okay, so that's entitlement. Okay, didn't do any of the work, didn't put themselves in a position to receive it in an honest direction, honest, in an honest way, but still entitled to it. Okay, modern men are doing this too. They're entitled to any woman they want strictly because they said that they are a high value man, not because any document, personality, character traits prove it, but simply because they said so. Okay. I would say also a part of the entitlement ingredient, it is somebody who cannot process rejection or the word no. There are men who cannot process rejection. I've seen disturbing videos where a man pulls out a gun and pop, 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 because a woman turned him down. Granted, the woman was being disrespectful, but still, like I said, my point is still being proven. Modern dating is a game, and is a sport for the mentally ill, man and female. Okay. So when they hear the word no, they become vindictive and revengeful. Okay. And they avoid the potential, or they avoid the potential of being rejected. So they don't even try. They don't even approach women because they don't even want to get rejected. Now, there are some men who aren't toxic, who are just dealing with some insecurity issues. So this doesn't apply to every single man, but most toxic people who will hurt you, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, financial, or anyway, they don't want to be hurt. So they do things to protect themselves from being hurt while simultaneously hurting you and hurting others. Number two, and first, before I go to number two, I want to say this is also the mindset of a thief. And the reason how my brain correlates it is a question I asked somebody before. I said, what's the difference between cheating and stealing? Now, obviously, cheating is being sneaky and going behind somebody's back and, You're not really taking anything, but you are, in a sense. You are stealing something that doesn't belong to you. If you have somebody who's with you based on the assumption that you are loyal, but if they knew that you were entertaining other people, men or women, that they'd leave, well, you're stealing. That's still, to a degree, that's stealing. So this is the entitlement, mindset is the mindset also of a thief. Somebody who believes that what they didn't earn, they still deserve or entitled to. A thief would take things that don't belong to them. And then also, they will fight to keep things that they didn't earn or that don't, belong to them rightfully. Same thing with someone who cheats. They will beg you to stay. They will say, I'm sorry. They will beg and plead with you and say, I won't do it again. And then as soon as they get your acceptance of their apology, they do it again. They're a pathological thief. They're a pathological cheater. Okay? So this applies to both men and women. And I've recently, it wasn't recently, it was almost 2 years now, but my most recent relationship ended with a woman. I ended it with a woman who begged me to stay when she kept mistreating me. And I kept on saying, I'm not going to tolerate that. I don't tolerate toxicity. And then she would not do the same thing I mentioned. She would still be toxic. She would just do it in a different way. It was like she was trying to force me to tolerate toxicity. Where's she now? I stand on business. All right, number 2, I want to go into the vanity mindset. Yes, this is something that you see in a lot of modern women, obviously, but also modern men are doing this. They prioritize the aesthetics, how things look. They might not be masculine and ripped up with 6-pack abs and buff muscles and all that stuff and tattoos everywhere, but they might just have that Hellcat or that fly car, that expensive car, and jewelry and all of this stuff like that, and designer clothing and stuff like that, because they prioritize the aesthetics of things, including being in shape. Being in shape is something that you do to stay healthy, but a modern man is not only doing it for that. You'll hear them boastfully say, everything I do is for the ladies. Now, I'm a ladies man myself. And I definitely have a ladies man background, but that ain't everything I do ain't for the ladies, because that's pointless. It's a waste of my time. You know what I'm saying? What I do is for my family, and what I do is for me. And I would like to meet a counterpart who can respect that, who can add to that, who can be doing the same thing herself. So if she's doing the same thing herself, building herself up, then she'd understand where I'm coming from, thus respect me and relate to me, and we can help each other out and we can grow and build. Oh man, you're saying grow and build. They don't want to hear that. Modern women don't want to grow with you. They don't want to take the time to grow with you. They want what you already built on your own. Okay, same thing with a modern man. He don't want no fixer upper chick. He wants the one that already invested or has some other man invest in her, and now she has the BBL, the fake boobs, the veneer teeth, and the long $700 weaves, and the designer clothes, and all that stuff like that. Okay, and pretty much, they seek to attract. Being that this is a vanity mindset, they also seek to attract those who praise worldly things. Materialism. How else do they attract you? If you were the type of woman, if a man was trying, he only prioritized the aesthetics of things, and you were a woman who wasn't impressed by a man's money, and you weren't impressed by his car and his jewelry and his clothes, you'd probably reject him. And then it go back to the entitlement mindset, where you won't be able to process being rejected or told no, so you become vindictive and revengeful and probably call her out her name, probably try to hurt her, like I mentioned before. Okay, so modern dating is strictly a sport for the mentally ill, for the mentally unhealthy. This is why men like me and men who follow my channel, they opt out. They say, I ain't doing this. It don't make any sense. And then even if you don't quit like me again, it's like the more and more you date, the more and more you see that nothing's changing and it's only getting worse. But I don't believe in giving up. And I do believe that eventually I will find something. And I believe that it's just not my time. And that's fine. I'm probably meant to be single. That's why I have to be okay with that. Okay. In addition to them seeking to attract people who praise worldly things, they looking for someone who is also shallow-minded, and they do not have interpersonal skills. Okay, as they cannot really genuinely connect with someone on a deep level, or they simply avoid it. So if they do have the ability to connect on a deep level, they avoid it. Right now in their mind, they're like, I'm not looking for that. They don't. So you can imagine how that looks when you are dealing with somebody who either doesn't have interpersonal skills, which is the ability to connect with somebody on a deeper than surface level, or they're avoiding it. This is when you have surface level conversations. This is when you have shallow and vain conversations. This is when people are annoyed with you asking them questions. They ghost you because you're too serious, and they all they want to do is be little jokesters and pranksters. I had a woman try to talk to me today, actually. And she tried to, I understand being funny and having a sense of humor. She cracked a couple of jokes, but she tried to make the entire conversation like nothing serious whatsoever. And so what that did, it triggered me. What it did to me is I naturally started asking her intellectual questions. And a piece of me is because I do this content and I find pleasure in picking apart people's brains when I'm talking to them. And then I run back to my channel when I dump that information off, because I'm like, yo, look at this. Look. I'm not living a sacrificial lifestyle, so to speak, because I do enjoy what I do. But at the same time, I tolerate things that if it wasn't for having a channel and making the choice to help other and validate other men who might feel the same way I feel but need a voice, I wouldn't tolerate it. So when I'm dealing and I meet a woman and she's saying stuff and I'm like, I'm calling cap, I'm like, I'm going to entertain this and see where this goes. Okay. And this woman was trying to be like some jokester and prankster. And so I intentionally tried not to turn it all the way dark serious, but I intentionally tried to get her to be more intellectual. And the conversation is actually still going on. I took a break from talking to her so I could do this video, but I'm going to see where that go. And I already know the outcome already. I know that she's going to fall off and she's going to show me that she's unintentional and that she is unhealed. I can see it already. That's what the spirit of discernment does. It makes you have a better judge of character. Okay. So that's the vanity mindset. Okay. And then now this is the mindset of a not fully developed adult or immature person. Okay. They're incapable of outgrowing childish behavior and low vibrational behavior. Okay. Number 3, I want to go to the transactional mindset. This is probably just as obvious as the other two. All gifts and gestures and advances and cash advance, date advance, whatever advance you want to call it, they're all done to gain something in return. Now, a woman, she's not going to be likely to be giving you gifts and pouring into you. A modern woman, there are women who do like to spoil the man that they're talking to, and they do like to give gifts in this part of their love language. Well, I'm talking about the modern dating scene, the modern woman and the modern man. The modern man is going to give woman gifts so that he can get something in return. And that's strictly that there's no out the kindness of his heart. He can say that, he'll say that, but that's not the case. Okay. Same thing with a modern woman. Now, let me tell you what the caveat or the warning, the yield sign on this one right here, right? Because you want to be careful if you are receiving gifts from somebody yourself, in case this is reality for you. And I've been there from women and also guy friends. You know, as a straight man, I've still had guy friends offer gifts and give things to me only to want them back. if they were cut off once I've seen their fraudulence. And then all of a sudden, they all give it back. I'll give you, it's cool. You don't want to talk to me. Give me my stuff back. You what? Hey, man. Hey, man, say, man. We don't play those games. But that is the caveat, is that as soon as you catch on to them, or as soon as you don't want to allow them to utilize you anymore, they want those gifts back. It was never out the kindness of their heart. It was done as a transaction. It was done so that they have leverage over you, or for in exchange, collateral in exchange for anything that they want to extract from you. And the messed up part is that there's no end date to how much they want to extract from you. So it's not like they say, okay, here goes this gift, give me some intimacy. No, it's here goes this gift, give me some intimacy whenever I want it. Tolerate me lying, tolerate me going missing, tolerate me gaslighting you. And the second you say, I'm not going to let you mistreat me, I'm not going to let you lie to me, I'm not going to let you disrespect me, they say, it's fine, I'm moving on. By the way, give me my blank back. Crazy. Now, this is the mindset of a con man. And yes, women can be con men. Posing as generous in order to lower your defenses. Okay. They cannot be trusted, only aim to have stake in the game, leverage, and your obligation to reciprocate. Number 4 is the envious mindset. Views everything as a competition, such as anyone that's in the same area, arena, game, sport, league, club as them. Okay? Wants to eliminate opposition and will resort to dirty macking. Dirty macking is when you try to make yourself look better by talking down on the next person. It's just a little bit of hood slang. Mocking you, public humiliation, and slandering your name. Okay. If he isn't successful, if he isn't already a successful person, then he resorts to cheating to get it done. Okay. So the envious mindset is somebody who wants what other people have, or they want to be admired. So they are willing to steal, cheat, and steal to climb that ladder. There is no honor amongst them. There is no integrity in them. They do whatever is necessary to get the job done, or just to appear to be something that they're not. Okay, they are not going to settle for just someone taking their word for it. They're saying to themselves, there's certain things I just can't say. I got to remember. They will go out of their way to do some kind of fraud, scheme, forgery, just to possess things that they should not have, simply to appear to be somebody that they are not. And anyone who has traits, that has natural God-given skill and traits that they pretend to have, or that they want to have, they envy. They want to eliminate. And if they do want to join your team, it is only to soak up as much game as possible, but that's not it, because that's harmless. If somebody wanted to know how to do what I do, I'd tell them. But it's the part where the problem becomes when they want to destroy you because they either can't figure it out, and they realize that, oh man, he been doing this for 15 years. I haven't done this for 2 weeks. So everything he knows isn't going to come that easy. And it goes right back to number 1, the entitlement of these people, where they don't want to have to do the work, but they do feel like what you have, they should have as well. So you see how all of these things are intertwined. Somebody out there already know what I'm getting at. Okay. So all of this is solely to get her. a man having the envious mindset and doing all of this to fake it to make it and all that stuff. All of this is to get the girl. But here goes the caveat to this one. Okay, he's doing all this to get the girl, and he don't even want her long term. He's going all the way 500 miles out the way to come and get this girl to get instant. Well, ain't that gonna be instant, but to get the gratification of being with this girl, just to mistreat her, abuse her, throw her back like a trophy fish. And meanwhile, these women want to be entertained by these type of men over the boring good guys. And the boring good guys are attached to sustainability, integrity, respect. She's playing herself. Everybody, it's a sport for the mentally ill. Okay. Now this is considered chasing after the wind. Number 5. Modern dating is like chasing after the wind. Now there was a scripture in the Bible, I can't remember, that talks about chasing after the wind, but the phrase chasing after the wind in the Bible, most prominently found in the book of Ecclesiastes, symbolizes futile and meaningless pursuits, particularly those focused on earthly achievements and fleeting pleasures without acknowledging God. It highlights the emptiness of striving for things that ultimately don't satisfy or last. So it's an insatiable lust and thirst when you are casually dating and in modern times, where you get one and then you feel like I got one and you get that instant gratification, and then you see another one and then you drop that one and you grab that one, or at least you put your efforts into grabbing that one. If not rejected, then you accomplish that one, but then you go out of your way to try to achieve that one, and then once you got that one, you're no longer interested in this one, and then you go over here and you drop that one and you go over here, and then you say, okay, I'm going to build a roster, and now you got a roster of 10, 12 people that you're rotating. And you don't ever get to a point where you say, all right, that's enough, because it's an insatiable desire. Okay. It's chasing after the wind. Excuse me. It will forever lack fulfillment. Okay. Because they focus on things that are meaningless, they overlook anything that is of true value, or they devalue things based on their ability to control it or not. So if they can't utilize you to their own benefit, instant gratification, they throw you back. Okay? They despise correction and will defend themselves aggressively against any righteousness or anything perceived to be morally superior. There goes your keyboard warriors. Those are the ones that jump in the comments and they disrespect you because you said something that triggered them. You don't even know them personally. So there's no way they should be taking what you say personal. You're not even a doctor or a therapist. You can't even diagnose them. You don't even know them, therefore lack the ability to judge them, but they feel it. What you said triggered them. You spoke on someone in their likeness. Little Twitter fingers. This is the mindset of a highly narcissistic individual. What? Narcissist? You can't diagnose nobody with that. Okay, let's check this out. Tell me if this matches all the points I made today. Inflated ego or conceited. Entitled or jealous hearted. Pathological liars and avoidant of any deep connections. Abusive and or manipulative. false sense of self, and pretentious. They pretend. They put on masks. They're liars. They're pretenders. And zero accountability, and they do anything to avoid shame. There is no change in this person. That is why it is best for us, sane individuals, healthy-minded individuals, people who still look up, people who still desire the right thing, to get out of the way and let them have this. Let them have it. There is no fight. Don't jump in no videos. Don't jump on no podcasts where you trying to argue with women and try to get them to change their perspective and you getting all frustrated. Let them be. Don't try to convince some woman of your worth. If she doesn't like you for who you are, that's not the one. And then you have to have faith. You have to believe that as you go throughout life, you're going to get rejected 100 times. And all you need is that one acceptance or that one yes. 100 no's to that one yes. And when you find that one yes, you just make sure that you're doing the work to make sure that you're ready when that time comes, so that you don't fumble, so that you don't miss out on the blessing. And you let them have the rest of this stuff. And don't feel any kind of way about things not working out for you in a game that's not intended for you to play. It's not intended for you to win. Not people like you. And the people that think that they're winning at modern dating are the people who are chasing their tail and chasing after the win, and they lack fulfillment, and they get instant. Yes, they are entitled to their instant gratification. But I feel like instant things that are instantly gratifying are things that lack sustainability. And the more you entertain things that are right now, the less likely you're going to reach the things that last forever. And so if you are looking for longevity, sustainability, things that you can leave behind for your loved ones, if that's your mindset, if that's where you're at with it, instant gratification is not the road to go. Come on, we got to do better, y'all. I hope this video helps you out. If it did, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe. If you are new to my channel, my name is Jerome, and this has been another episode of The Superb Word. Until next time, 2 fingers, y'all.